G'day guys, Daikaiju Down Under. What you're looking at here is the Bandai Movie Monster Series 2024 special release box set. Whatever you want to call it, this is a Godzilla store exclusive, a box set, almost like a Godzilla 50th anniversary memorial box type deal. Look, it's a box set with 5 figures, guys, and it's going to be absolutely incredible. As you can see, based on the box art here, this absolutely incredible box art, we're going to get 5 figures. You're going to get Anguirus, you're going to get Kamacuras, you're going to get Ghidorah, you're going to get Gabara, and you're going to get Mechagodzilla. So we're going to unbox it here. We're going to take a quick look at all of the figures, and then I'll tell you how I feel about this set. Alrighty guys, so upon opening the box, as you can see, the figures have been sectioned off. We've got Ghidorah on the right there. It looks like we've got Kamacuras here. You've got Mechagodzilla in the top left there. You've got Anguirus in the center, and Gabera. Now, all 5 of these figures are brand new molds for the Movie Monster series. I'm very excited to take a look at them. What I'll do is I'll just pull them out, and then we'll chuck them on the spinning display, I reckon. And we'll do it in, I guess, smallest to largest. Alrighty guys, and here we have the set completely unboxed. These guys look very, very nice together. All of the figures here are brand new to the Movie Monster series, not the characters themselves, just the figures. Now we will take a quick individual look at each and every one of these guys in just a moment, but I just wanted to say, what do you reckon the lore is behind this, guys? If you were to give this a hypothetical lore explanation for these 5 random characters teaming up, what do you reckon it is? Because on the box art, it definitely looks like they are together in unison. Maybe the aliens from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla were able to control King Ghidorah, Anguirus, and Kamacuras from Monster Island, and then somehow Gabara comes in. Maybe Gabara is a kaiju that is wished into existence. I don't know. Either way, I reckon these guys look absolutely incredible together. Let's take a look at those individual figures, shall we? And we'll start with Gabara. Alrighty, Gabara here is very, very nice. The detail on this figure is actually really, really cool. You've got all of those individual warts and stuff sculpted, and I think that's absolutely incredible. Again, you've also got all of those sort of abs and pectoral muscles that Gabara has there, and his signature ugly, almost warty frog-like face. I think that's captured very, very nicely. And a nice detail that I've noticed is those eyes, guys. They've been individually sculpted. They've sculpted in the pupils and stuff, and I think that's very, very nice. And they've got some paint variation in there. And those teeth look very, very nice. The hair that Gabara has, very, very nice. Overall, this figure is very, very cool. Articulation-wise, both arms go a full 360. There's unfortunately nothing at the waist. But again, Gabara here, I think, is just such a nice, almost novel character that having it in the Bandai Movie Monster series in of itself is just very, very cool. So I do really, really like Gabara here. I'm going to keep these really quick, guys. Let's move on to Mechagodzilla. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm a little disappointed with Mechagodzilla here just because he doesn't really have that much articulation. I was expecting maybe some movement in the legs or the waist there, definitely the head, but the only articulation you get are full 360s at the arm, so exactly like Gabara. But besides that, Mechagodzilla does look very, very nice. That head is just a little off. I'm not too sure what it is. I think it's the brows. I think he's looking almost a little too angry. But besides that, Mechagodzilla here does look very, very nice. You've got all of those very nice sculpted rivets and dents and stuff in there. You've even got some folds in the vinyl there to replicate the look of the suit. So I think that's very, very cool. Not too much for paint. You've got a little bit of gold on those little buttons there, a little bit of gunmetal sort of across the chest there, and that MG emblem is in a nice dark red. Mechagodzilla here is cool. Unfortunately, I was just a little disappointed with it, but that is just because I am such a huge Mechagodzilla fan. Now, let's move on to Anguirus. Now, I think Anguirus here is actually the second best figure in this entire set. The sculpted details on Anguirus are absolutely incredible, and it's very nice that we have a new update. because that old Bandai Anguirus, despite being pretty cool, is definitely a little dated. I think Anguirus here looks really, really nice. The sculpted scales on Anguirus, very, very cool. You've even got some additional sort of forgotten details and stuff, like on the underside of the throat there, you've got some warty looking scales. That's very, very cool. Underside of the tail is very nice. The top carapace here, guys, that's really, really cool. And the spray paint on that isn't that messy. It isn't missing a lot. It's also kind of subtle, which I think is very, very nice. And it's a different color from the crown and the horn. That's very, very nice. Very cool there. The face on Anguirus, absolutely incredible. Those claws also looking really, really nice. And it's a pretty hefty sized figure. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be, which is very, very nice. Now, Anguirus has 5 points of articulation, which I think is incredible. So those arms swivel, those legs swivel, and that tail goes a full 360. The only thing that would have made this even better is if that head was able to swivel as well. However, Anguirus as is, very, very nice figure. Very happy with this one. Let's move on to King Ghidorah. Alrighty guys, King Ghidorah here, another very, very nice figure in the set. He only has 2 points of articulation, being those feet, but unlike Mechagodzilla, I wasn't actually expecting too much from him. He looks very, very nice. The gold that's been used on this figure, absolutely incredible. It really does give Ghidorah that imposing sort of emperor look. I wish the wings were flared out like this. I mean, look how nice that looks on the camera, guys. That's such a nice sort of pearly gold. In person, it's more of a bronzish color. It's not as gold as it's looking on camera. But again, that's very nice, very cool. I wish the wings were forward a little more just to give it a little bit more imposing look. However, having them sort of face backwards does save on some of that shelf space. Now, the heads on King Ghidorah, guys, those are absolutely incredible. You've got the manes as well, painted in a nice gray there. The eyes are looking absolutely incredible. King Ghidorah always looks good. Doesn't matter how you have him, whether it's Bandai vinyl or an articulated figure. I think Ghidorah looks really, really cool. And this mold is very, very nice. I'm very excited to get that poster color version that is coming in the mail very, very soon. Now, let's move on to the final figure in this set, Kamacuras. And finally, we have Kamacuras, guys. I think this figure is absolutely incredible and probably the strongest one in the set. The detail on Kamacuras is absolutely incredible. I mean, just look at that claw. Look at all of that sculpted textured detail there. That's really nice. Kamacuras' head, also very, very nice. And these antennas, very thin and yet part of the figure. Very, very cool. I hope those don't break over time, but if you're careful with it, I don't think they will. Again, very, very nice, very cool. A little bit of paint variation on the back of the figure there, and those eyes are absolutely incredible. And they're not just orange, there's also a slight bit of gold on the top of them as well to really sort of give it that nice contrast there. Articulation on Kamacuras, that head goes a full 360, and those arms swivel. But you don't really need much articulation out of this character. He does look cool just sitting there, and I think it's very, very nice that Kamacuras finally has another figure in the Bandai Movie Monster Series. The old vintage one, the green one, very hard to come by. This one here, also being a part of a set, is probably going to be a little hard to come by, but maybe some people will sell them off individually. I think this figure is very nice, and in my opinion, it's probably the strongest in the set. Speaking of which, let's bring the entire set back. Alrighty guys, we're going to wrap things up real quick. We've taken a look at the set, we've taken a look at the figures. I think it's very, very nice, very cool. Very glad that I have this thing in my collection. Did you purchase this, or do you plan on purchasing this if it's still available, or is it just a little too expensive for you? Let me know down in the comment section below. And while you're down there, I have another little question for you guys. Let's say, hypothetically, that King Ghidorah and Mechagodzilla were invading Earth, and the only 3 kaiju left to defend it were Anguirus, Gabara, and Kamacuras. So the 2 on the left versus the 3 on the right. Who do you reckon is winning? Is the Earth going to be invaded finally, or will the defenders of Earth actually defend the Earth? Let me know down in the comment section below. I've been Daikaiju Down Under, and I'll see you all in the next video.